Hey everybody, Jesse here for 3Prong Gaming, and in today's episode we're going to do a little behavior tree cleanup. We're going to create some sub-trees and get that functionality going. It's pretty straightforward. There is one caveat I came across, and we will go ahead and take care of that. So let's go ahead and get this episode started. Alright, so in the last episode we built our NPC behavior trees so that the NPC will build a shack if there's no place to live. And yeah, there was one thing I forgot, and I put the annotation on the screen in the last video, was we went through the trouble of making our calculate slope a global function, but we never actually incorporated it into the task. So let's take care of that real quick. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and open up our task, build shack. Open that up, and here we are in here. Where we need to go is right after the set actor transform, right after we check its location right in here. So what we need to do right before the get actor overlap is off of this. Let's just go ahead and move my cheat sheet around here a little bit. Okay, we need to get off of this shack reference we got right here. Let's go ahead and pull off of this, and we need the static mesh. Let's go get static. There it is, get static mesh. Pull that out here, and then off of this, let's get component bounds. There it is right there. Not the local bounds. We want the collision get component bounds. All right, now let's go ahead and right click and do calculate slope. There's our global function right there that we created. Let's go ahead and plug in the execution right there. Now off of this, we need to take the extent because we created this to where we need to input the extent, which is right there. Okay, and the actor is going to be the shack reference. So let's go ahead and take that and plug that in right there. Run a reroute to clean it up a little bit. Okay, and off of this, now off of actors, what we need to do is, let's give us just a little bit more space right in here. Move this off to the side a bit. So now we need to check this. This needs to be bad location or Boolean right there. Drop that in. Let's plug in the check here because we're checking overlap actors as well as a slope. So if either of those are true, then it's a bad location and we don't want to place it. So plug that in right there. Hook in the execution like so, and that's it. Everything should be pretty well taken care of at that point. So yeah, let me just go ahead and move this up a little bit here. Set that. A little node cleanup here. All right. So save that. Everything should be great. We're not going to test this out right now because we'll run a test in a little bit. But yeah, that should be just fine right there. As long as we pass in the actor and the extent, we should be good to go. All right. So like I've been talking about, I'm going to close this out. I should have just opened up the behavior tree. Let's open up the behavior tree. All right. Now you can see we've only got a few functionality, a few things going on really in this behavior tree, but you can see already how messy this is getting. So like I've talked about, we're going to go ahead and turn these into their own behavior trees. We're going to make them sub behavior trees within this behavior tree. And it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to show you doing all of it. I'm going to show you the one that I came into issues with. There was actually just one. It was a weird issue. I don't think it was an issue before, but it was an issue now. And there's a couple other caveats that we need to go to. So the one I actually ran into issues with was the working here. Okay, so what we need to do, let's go back out here. Right click we're in our AI folder here. We need a new artificial intelligence, new behavior tree. Let's go ahead and call this construction _ BT for behavior tree. All right, save that. Let's open that up now. There it is. All right, this is pretty much all we're going to end up needing to do is copy and pasting. We're not going to do the unemployment. The only one I didn't do as a sub behavior tree was this unemployment right here. The rest of them I did do, primarily because this is kind of a unique one, I guess. I don't know, and it's really not that big. If you want to turn this down into a compact sub behavior tree, then by all means go ahead and do so. I'm going to go like this here. Just kind of give myself some space so I can do some copy and pasting here. So yeah, take everything underneath the working selector right here. All right, and then let's just shift drag, get these other ones that aren't in here, right? Make sure it's all selected. We do not want this one, oops, dang it, we don't want this selector selected. We want it, we don't want it. That's going to have to stay out here. So right click on that, do a copy, come into our new construction behavior tree and right click, oops, just Control V, you can't right click and paste. And then just move it up into here. And you're going to have to do this pretty much with all of them. It doesn't quite copy over like it needs to. Things kind of get a little bit out of whack a little bit. It's not too bad, but you definitely need to pay attention to it. All right, this isn't all hooked up, so let me just make sure here. All right, we need to add in a sequence, another sequence here. My back's kind of bothering me today. I don't know why. All right, let's just go ahead and plug this in. Probably don't really need this. Let me see. I don't have that in mind. I got to check this real quick. You know what? Let's go ahead and delete that selector right there. This is construction worker. Let's just go ahead and delete that. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, let's go ahead and delete that. We're going to actually leave that. Let me see, where am I? What am I doing here? Is construction worker. Yeah, okay. Let's just delete that. We don't want this in the subtree. We'll leave this sequence right here. You can leave it named construction if you want. We'll just take that sequence that's there. Okay. And what we need to do, a couple of things it did. Obviously you need to go through and you need to make sure that all your Blackboard keys are set accordingly. Is busy, false, false, false. All right, just make sure that they're all set. Pretty much those copied okay. One thing that it does do, and I don't know why, is it moves the loop down to the bottom here. The loop needs to be on top because what's going to happen is it will never loop this because this decorator will be false initially. So it'll never hit this. It'll just freeze up. So the loop has to be on top so it knows to continually keep checking this while the simple parallel is going. So do that. We've got a couple loops in here. All right, move those up. And then I don't know why these decorators in particular, but it changed the name on those. So we need to go ahead and just change up. I think it's because we don't have a default name for it. So we need to destination not exist. I should have capitalized that just to be consistent. Does not exist. All right. And then this one right here. We could probably just copy that. Let's just go Control C, come down here, and Control V because that's the same thing. Does it not exist? Okay, is that location? The other thing too I noticed was, let me see, I don't think we have, yeah, is at office. No, is at location. Let's change the name of this. This should be is not at office. Okay, and the force success, see, it did the same thing here when we've got multiple ones. Actually, it did it to these two, not just the loops. The force success needs to be on the bottom, which actually you need to move the bottom up. All right, same thing with this one. This one should actually be on top, is not at the office. That's the first check we want. And is not busy is the second check. Force success is there. Pretty much you just come back here and you compare it to how you have it in here. Make sure that it looks all the same. I'm not doing that because I've got my cheat sheet open over here on the side, so I could see it that way, but you might have to. But see, the problem here is if you look, is not at office. If we come back out here and we look, is not at office, we have this inversed. Okay, so it didn't transfer over the inverse here. So we need to come down here and we need to make sure to tick that. And I believe for this particular, oh, no, does destination not exist? That also needs to be inversed, which means this one will also need to be inversed. And it looks like those are the only ones that we had inversed here. Has target location. We did set that there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to see something. That was, okay, that was a problem I ran into. I don't think I had this set on my other one. Has target location exist. That's why I thought this one was funky, because in my cheat sheet, I didn't have this on here for some reason. Has target location exist, or has target location wasn't on this simple parallel. So the NPC were freezing up and I had to put that on there. So if for whatever reason we didn't do that, which if it's on this copy, then we must have done it in another life, I guess, right there. Okay, so let's change the name of this one too. Is at office. All right, so this one does not need to be inverse. We need to make sure if we are at the office and we run all this. Is not busy. Let's see, is not set. So everything else. So yeah, you just pretty much want to compare every copy and paste you do with the original out here in the behavior tree before you do anything. And what I've been doing is I'll come up here and we will actually, we're not going to use this sequence right there. We're going to take that. We're going to leave this decorator on the outside. Let's just slide this down out of the way until we make sure everything works accordingly to in our new subtree. I just want to double check here, make sure everything else. I think that's all we had to do was just make sure the inverses, reflip the decorators to make sure that they were in the right locations. But I believe all the Blackboard keys remained true to what they were supposed to be. And we didn't have to do anything in there. Some of them you might have to, like when you come over here, I didn't even check this. When you come over here, like with the random weight, it may reset this back to its default. Remember the default here is 3 seconds. So when you transfer these over, it might be the default. So if you've got something other than the default, you'll have to go back and reset it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to show you all of them. I think that's it. So let's go ahead and test this now. So what we need to do, we already disconnected that. So go ahead and pull off of underneath the occupation check and do run behavior. We've got two here, run behavior and run behavior dynamic. The main difference in between them is that apparently, I don't know how you do it, but apparently one of them, I believe it's the dynamic. I don't know why it's not giving me tooltips here. The dynamic is... let me see if we can get right there. Run allows pushing subtrees on the execution stack, which is the same as the other one. Subtree assets can be assigned at runtime. Oh, this is why, because you can change what behavior tree is going to run in this particular spot. If we made it a dynamic, you could change at runtime during gameplay which behavior tree. So say, for example, we got a bunch of different jobs. If this occupation check says you're a, miner or something, then you can have it dynamically change. I haven't really messed with this. I'm not going to do that here. The difference, what you sacrifice is with this one, see it says does not support subtree root level decorators. The other one, which is the just regular old run behavior, this is the one we are going to use. It pretty much says the same thing, but it says causes subtrees root level decorators. The subtree can't be changed at runtime. The limitation is caused by support for the subtree's root level decorators. So apparently in the root level, which this would be the root, it says you can add decorators to it, but haven't been able to do that, so I don't understand what it's talking about right there. But we're going to do this one anyways. You can try the other one and mess around with that if you want. So the behavior that we want to run is come over here with its selected behavior tree, and we want to do the construction behavior tree. And that, for the most part, is that we need to take this is construction worker and just drop that decorator right on top of there. And that's what we're going to do there. Occupational type is equal to construction. So now we can just go ahead and test this, Control S to save it all. So let's go ahead and do that now. Push play. It's probably, oh, I thought I was going to go in my other one. Let's go ahead and 2, 3. We'll drop in some stuff here. Make sure that they're going to go and work. And slide this off here. Let's go ahead and watch the behavior tree. I know I'll pop that screen back up here in a second. All right, so now they're going to go to work. Make sure that they're going to go do the construction. And see it look like that they're not going to. Right, so we need to, oops, what the heck just happened? That was weird. All right, so I have no idea why they didn't run the behavior tree, but that's why we didn't delete any of this. See, we did have a random weight in there. Let's go ahead and check. I know that's not the problem. It did transfer the random weight. I just want to see if it did that. So we need to come in here, and nice thing about the sub behavior tree is you can come in here. If there's any actors that are currently performing this behavior tree, then it'll show them right here. There's none active, even though it shows that that controller's there. And the game is running. I've got it off screen just so I could do this, but they are actually, there we go. Now they're running back to the construction zone. You can see it right here. So now it is failing is at office. See right there. Current location, the location check is none selected, so it didn't transfer that one. So let's go ahead and stop the game. Check that location check, office. Okay, location check. So see, we didn't do it right there. Location check, office. All right. Make sure destination. Okay. House reference, location type, none selected. That's what we wanted for that one, right? We didn't want none selected for that. Right here, we want to make sure office is selected for that one. Office is selected. See, so that's weird. There's some just weird stuff that transfers over and some that don't when you copy and paste it. I don't understand what the problem is, but all right, let's try this again. Hit play. It is off screen. I'll drop in some NPC here, turn up the speed, throw in another construction job right there, and then let's just watch and make sure that these guys are going to go to work this time. There we go. All right, so everything is running. Let's make sure that they're going to complete this construction. They're going to go to sleep. Yep, I knew they were going to go to sleep before it finished. All right, fast forwarded through that. So we just want to make sure that's going to complete. And yep, so everything seems she's going to go to sleep. And so she. So everything at that point is working. So that is it for that. I'm going to go through. I'm not going to show you guys the rest of this. You can go back in here now that everything works like we expected. And select all that. And let's just go ahead and delete that. So yeah, so now look how much space that saves up right there by just running a separate subtree behavior tree, and it runs just like the rest of it as a running a behavior tree right here. It will. Let's make sure here. Oh, see, that was the one thing we got to do here real quick too, is it didn't transfer over the aborting here. So let's go ahead and select that observer abort. We need to do self because we want it to, if it hits this stop movement, we want it to abort itself on result change, target location. Yeah, okay. So I think, do we need a decorate or a, all right. It doesn't look like we did have an abort on this one. We should have had an abort on this one. I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to hit Control Z. Did we have an abort on this? We did not have an abort on this. We probably should have. Maybe we'll do that anyways. I don't think it's going to hurt because we do have the stop movement right here. So it probably should have an abort on it if something in here. Yeah, if we're in the middle of this and this task aborts, we probably should. So let's go ahead, and I had to undo twice to do that. So we need to come back in here and add the abort on this again. Self. So let's just go ahead and do this and set observer abort self is not busy. Yeah, we'll just do that. So That way, if something happens here, it'll abort. That may or may not be important right there. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and pause this right now, and I'm going to finish cleaning up all these behavior trees, and then we will test it to make sure everything is great. All right, everybody, I went ahead and got it all done. There is one other thing I do want to note, but yeah, look at that. From what we had before to what we have now. You can even, like I said, you can even take this unemployment, make that a sub-behavior tree if you want to clean it up even more. I may do that in the future. We'll have to see how it goes at this point, but that's it, man. That's pretty awesome. So one thing I did want to point out here in the homeless area, okay, you see where I knocked it all off at here. I still left this selector and is homeless decorator on the outside. Same thing with sleeping and is sleeping right here on the outside. But inside the homeless behavior tree, instead of running a sequence, make sure you put a selector in here, okay? Even though we have the selector on the outside, and really that could probably, on the outside here, this probably could be a sequence since we moved the selector on the inside. Let me look. I don't know if I did that here. Is homeless. You know what? I did do that. So let's go ahead. I think I did have a problem. I haven't tested this yet, okay? So let's just go ahead and do a sequence and grab the is homeless, throw it on top of the sequence, and run this and put that right there. Let's go ahead and delete that. Change the name of this to homeless. Okay, so yeah, so make this a sequence on the outside in the main behavior tree, and on the inside of the sub behavior tree, not the sleeping, the homeless, make it a selector on the inside, because remember, we need the selector here because we don't want it, if this was a sequence, if this passed, it would automatically go to build the shack. We only want it to go to build the shack if it fails. So if this fails, right, isn't that how that goes? Yeah, if this fails, it's going to move on to the build shack. So that's got to be a selector right in there. Okay, and I thought there was one other caveat. Oh, no, there was, but I changed it. My main project, all I did was do a blackboard key instead of does location exist. And I started to change that, and I was like, you know what? No, we're going to do the destination because your house might exist, but if the destination, anyways, yeah. So we'll just leave that right there. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and Control S. Make sure you save it all. You'll see out here, I didn't actually delete those yet because I have not tested it. So I want to go ahead and test this and make sure everything is nice and operational. All right, so let's just go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4. That should work. They'll go to sleep. They're supposed to go to sleep, and they're just standing there like some goons. So let's move that off screen here and check that. And let's open up the homeless. And what is it that we're doing here? Oh, see, we didn't do their stop of movement because I forgot to inverse that. So does destination not exist? And that's going to have to be the same thing. Inverse that. Yeah, I think that's it. So, all right, my bad. Hopefully you didn't have that issue. Let's play it. It's off of screen here. Move it back on. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. They found a place to live. Let's drop in 2 more so we make sure they build a shack. 5 can move in there. He's going to build a shack. Let's put in some construction here. Cool, he built his shack. They're going to go build, and let's see, we need to see them go to sleep. That's where he's going. He's going. Yep, there they go. They all are going to sleep. Make sure they come out of sleep all right. And what is he doing? I think he's just bored, maybe. What is he doing? Nope, he can't get to sleep. So let's see real quick. That might just be a weird once in a weird time bug. You know what? I'm going to stop that. I'm going to replay it. I'm going to drop in again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll just do that. Drop in a whole bunch. All right. They all need to go to sleep. There might have been an issue with the shack. They went in, they entered right after they built it. Let's follow her because I don't think she's gonna find a job, not right off the bat until that gets built. And so let's make sure that she's going to get to sleep, her and him, and they're not. So come back into here. I should have probably not have stopped that. Sleeping behavior tree. I shouldn't have stopped that. So let me fast forward a little bit and see what happens here. Wow, I am on a roll. I am telling you what. So after quite a bit of time trying to figure out what the heck is going on, why it wasn't entering the shack, it's because, and I don't know why I did this. I don't know. Sometimes it's a little harder than you might think. All right. In my cheat sheet, I have it all set up right. Everything works perfect when I test it there. The problem is the enter, let's see, let's go, enter the task, enter exit building, right? It was failing right here, entering the building. It was failing here. So when you open that up, brought me to the building master. Obviously, this is just a building master. So we check the shack. I'm just kind of taking you through the check. We don't have any blueprint functionality in here. That's fine. That's the way I have it in my other one. But you come over here into its parent, which is the residential. It doesn't have it either. The apartment does. See, here's the apartment. We got enter exit here, but the residential master doesn't have it. And this shack is a child of the residential. And I could have swore we tested the shack in the last episode. I'm just totally baffled of why that wasn't working. Apparently, maybe I don't know. That's baffling me. Anyways, so what we need to do, and I'm not going to do it on camera, is over here in the apartment. If you have it the same way I do, I don't know. This is just blowing my mind. If you have this the same way as I do, where the enter and exit building is in the apartment event graph here, or in the apartment blueprint, we just need to move this. Just copy and paste it. Here, I'll do enter right here. Just go Control C. Come over here into the residential master. Come down here to functions, override. That was the enter building. Delete the parent right there. And Control V. Just like so. Just like so. And let's see, what do we have? The NPC gets hooked into the target there and the target down there. So just take this, make sure you plug everything up the way it was. And that is it. Oh, we need to make sure that that's marked as true right here for success. Okay, so do that for the exit real quick, and I'll be right back, and we will test it one last time. All right, so back in here. So all I did, I'm back in the apartment small blueprint. After copy and pasting the enter and exit, you'll notice that the names of the function, actually, because we're putting it back in the master here, they actually changed to enter building _0, exit building _0. Just delete the functions. We don't need them because they're being handled by its parent, which is a residential master. We've got those in here now. Make sure, again, with the exit building, you tick true at the end there. All right. Now, let's cross our fingers. Everything should work good now. I do have currently, just to test the shack, because it was working in the apartment, obviously, because we had the functionality inside the apartment. So it was the shack that was having issues. So let's go ahead and move this back on screen. Let's test this one more time. But I have the apartment set to 0 occupancy, so they're not going to try to get a place to live right there. So he entered, obviously, right there at the beginning, entered. So they were entering right at the beginning. See, that's the weird thing, is they were entering. We must be handling that different. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah. Oh, and I did move my subtree. You know what? Before we do that, let's go back out here. Because I was testing it all. So I had to move all this. So let's hook up, actually alt click, hook up our sub behavior tree, because that's ultimately what we're testing. So everything should be good, but I had to hook up. I wasn't sure if it was something I forgot in the, that was just part of my debugging process there. VB, drop them in there. Yeah, just part of my debugging. I wasn't sure if I didn't transfer something over properly when I made the subtree. So, but I couldn't see any difference. Obviously, we figured out what the problem was. Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure that one out, but you know, that's what you do. Just got to run through and debug, and usually I try to show you guys my debugging stuff, but yeah, I didn't feel like doing it right there. I truly had no clue why that wasn't entering, which would have probably been a good thing to show you guys, but yeah. And they're not exiting. Where are they at? Where are they? Their stamina should be low. What the heck is going on? They were sleeping. They were sleeping at the construction office. They were regaining stamina inside there. I have no clue what is going on here. Let's check the progress of this. See, so now they're not losing stamina at all. They weren't sleeping there. They just weren't losing stamina. So why all of a sudden are they not losing stamina? I don't understand what the heck is going on. I mean, because that's on them. That's not part of the behavior tree. They should be losing stamina no matter what. So why all of a sudden are they not? Holy moly, guys. This is a horrible episode. Let me try to investigate this, and I'll be right back. All right. Wow. Gotta love bugs. Yeah, sorry, guys, for the... man, this is like 2 horrible episodes in a row. This is... man, I'm sorry about this. All right, so my problem is and was on the enter buildings. I've got it defaulted in the task here to, let's see, enter building is defaulted to true. Okay. Yeah, so back here in the behavior tree, anywhere there's an exit building, we named it exit building for a reason. It's defaulted when we moved it over. It's defaulted, and not even just when we moved it over, but even here, we don't want that true. Exit is false. Okay, so that is, because that was the problem. It was depleting stamina, but I just followed it around and watched that it was never calling the exit, so it was never switching over. So the homeless doesn't have an exit building. There's an exit building right there. Construction worker, I think, has one here. Exit building. We want to exit it. Make sure there's not another one here. That's enter buildings. Exit. Okay, so then we come back out here and into sleeping. Exit building. We want to not enter the building. And then right here, make sure enter building, that is set to true. Control S. Let's do one final, hopefully cross your fingers, one final test. We've got, let me put this back on screen. I did change it to where 1 resident can go inside the apartment. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to just drop in 4 just because. Throw out a construction office so they have something to do. Build. Oh, I forgot toggle breakpoint. Remove breakpoint. I've got another one right here. Remove that. Yeah, see, breakpoints are your friend. I was realizing that it never broke here when I did the exit building. Remove breakpoint, and let's go ahead and resume that. There we go. Yeah, so I just threw out a bunch of breakpoints, and they never went to sleep because they built a shack right in the way, I think. So we'll see what happens here with her. Oh no, he went to sleep just fine. That other one, I don't know. Oh, must have just been a random wander. Just looked like that they were trying to go to sleep, but didn't. So cool, they went to sleep. Let's make sure when they come out. So everything is good so far. below 40%, didn't complete construction, going to sleep. They regained, and now they're depleting again. Same thing with them. Where's the one we were just watching? She was right here. So yeah, that's it. Boy, holy bug-filled episode. I apologize. I thought this was just seriously going to be a super easy, fast episode. Shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Actually, I guess both of them are shame on me, because I probably should have tested this before. It worked. I did just fine on my time. Anyways, I hope you guys, even through all my turmoil and bugs, I hope you guys still enjoy the video. Hope you still learned a little something from it. I think what we're going to be doing moving forward here, we've been spending a lot of time in AI, and I know a lot of you are going, more AI, but this is kind of a God City Builder kind of game, right? So it's really AI heavy. You've got to have a lot of AI because you want them to be totally autonomous. So that's why we've been spending a lot of time there. But I think just to kind of break it up a little bit, we've done a ton of AI. I think we're going to start doing some UI. We're going to start making it to where when we click our buildings here, we can see who's inside of it, maybe even select them. And yeah, so we're going to just do some AI stuff, and then maybe we'll make some avatars or something. So when you select them, a little picture of them will show up here somewhere or something like that. Maybe, yeah, so we can see other stuff about them. Maybe we'll have them do a little random comment in here when they're tired. Maybe it'll pick a random comment and say, oh, I really wish I could go get some sleep, or I'm hungry, or, you know, something like that. But we're going to do some UI stuff. You know, we created these UIs. The building, really, there's nothing. I mean, you know, it says small building. That's all it has. But when we come over here, we can see who's in it, you know, and what they're doing, and be able to select them. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing probably in the next few episodes. So again, I apologize for everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, go down, hit that like button, helps me out a ton. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe while you're down there liking it. And until next time, peace.